Now let's talk about what all of this has to do with English language learners. Actually, just about everything we've talked about relates to English language learners. We're going to look at the proficiency levels, and then we'll be looking at how to accommodate for these levels, and finally we'll look at how to plan the lessons for these students. Let's look at the English language learner proficiency levels. First, we have the beginning level. At this stage, the student is at the receptive or listening stage. They don't speak much, or they can say one or two words. Then we come to the early intermediate. These students can say a few words or phrases and even simple sentences, but they're still speaking mainly basic interpersonal type language, which is just meeting their daily needs. At the intermediate level, students begin to use academic language. At this point, they're speaking in sentences, although simple sentences, but they're starting to use the language of books. Then we come to the early advanced level. At the early advanced level, these students are using more complex sentence structures and are using academic language. Finally, at the advanced level, their language approaches that of a native speaker, but it still needs to be fine-tuned. And so they do still need more language instruction than a native English speaker. Now let's look at some accommodations that can be made to instruction to help English language learners comprehend the information, especially in an academic setting. Constance Williams came up with these accommodations. First, we have nonverbal language, which of course would be most valuable for the students at the beginning proficiency level, using gestures, acting out. Visual support would be the kinds of things we showed in Patty Reed's stall, using artifacts, using posters and pictures in books. Lots of visual support really lends itself well to content area instruction, like Patty Reed's stall. Then we have oral and verbal amplification, and that would be like the word square, where you talk about what a word is, what it isn't, and then giving a definition, comparing it to other objects as well. We saw how much graphic organizers are used, these visual representations which help make the material manageable and comprehensible for English learners. We saw this throughout Patty Reed's stall. And finally, realia, which is one type of visual support, but that students can touch, and it's being able to actually touch an artifact. It's not just pictures, but actual objects.